Hi. I've been asked to speak on Parshas Kitetze. It's a little bit difficult for me to get into the Parshas Kitetze mode at the moment. We're holding by Purim here in Yerushalayim, and I was thinking, what am I going to talk about? Should I talk about the Levirate marriages? Should I talk about the rebellious child? And then it occurred to me that at the end of Kitetze, at the very end, we had the parsha called the Parsha of Amalek, which is something Purim-dic, something I can share with you, something that I'm excited to speak about. So I want to share with you an incredible medrash at the end of Parshas Kitetze, in the Medrash Chuma. It tells us something new about Amalek, and it says the following: Mahu Amalek, what is Amalek all about? Rabbi Levi b'shem Rabbi Shimon bar Techalafta oimer. Rabbi Levi says in the name of Rabbi Shimon bar Techalafta, Mashal lema haya Amalek doimer lezvuv. It is compared to a fly. Amalek is like a fly, shehaya lohet acha hamaka, that likes to get excited to be able to attach itself to any makkah, to any wound. Kach hayaloyet Amalek ach Yisrael kekelev. In the same way, Amalek would come along and, so to speak, suck the blood of the Jewish people, like a kelev would come along and take somebody's blood. The question that I want to talk about for the next few minutes is, what is the analogy of comparing Amalek to a fly? Chazal don't choose their analogies lightly. If they say that Amalek is compared to a fly, there's something very fly-like about the nation of Amalek. Now, in case you think I'm sort of exaggerating a little bit, okay, it's just trying to make a simple point. You don't have to take it too detailed, too exact. Well, you're wrong. Because if you have a look at the way the Torah talks about the Parsha of Amalek, you'll find that the only place in the whole Chumash where you have the letter Zvuv, Zayin, Veis, Vav, Veis, appear in the Chumash. There is, by the way, one other exception to this rule, but the only place you'll find it is in the Parsha of Amalek. And I'm going to read to you the words. Ksav Zeis Zikaron B'Sefer V'Sim Ba'azne Yeshua. So you have the Zayin, you have the base, you have the Vav, and you have the base again. So there's something fly-like about Amalek. So here's the idea of a fly. What does a fly like to do? A fly only gets excited when it sees decay, when it sees something rotting. If you have a look, don't experiment, but you can see if you take a dead rodent and you throw it in front of the sun, you'll see within seconds flies will appear and they'll start feasting over the rodent. Flies like things that are dying. Flies especially like things once they're dead. Amalek is the spiritual fly of the world. Amalek takes no interest of things that are alive. The moment they see a little bit of decay, they come in, they get excited. This is their chance to attack. Chazal say that when Bnei Yisrael came to the place called Refidim, just before Amalek attacked, that is where Rafu Yedehem Midivrei Torah. Rafu Yedehem means they became, so to speak, spiritually weak in the world of Torah. And the big point I want to make to you now is that Torah is not just something we study. Torah is something alive. It's an Eitz Chaim. It is something that has its own vibrancy. And the moment there's a little bit of decay in the vibrancy of Torah, the fly is going to come in. Let me finish off with something beautiful. You'll notice the way that the Jewish people respond to Amalek's attack. Moshe Rabbeinu goes up the mountain. Yeshua fights from the bottom of the mountain. Moshe Rabbeinu spreads his hands out. Chazal say, the Ramban in particular, he spreads his hands out like a kohen passing the shefa, passing the goodness from the higher worlds down to the lower worlds. The way that the Torah is kept alive is you have a Moshe Rabbeinu symbolizing the Torah Shebiksav up the mountain, and you have Yeshua, the famous Talmud of Moshe Rabbeinu, spreading the Torah and, so to speak, fighting for the Torah, symbolizing the Torah Shebal Peh at the bottom of the mountain. That's how Torah is kept alive. It's kept through the constant flow from the higher spiritual source down into the world of action. And that's where the Zvuv of Amalek cannot possibly attack us. So I want to finish off wishing you should have a wonderful summer. We're looking forward to seeing you next year. And if anybody comes along to try and cut off your spiritual flow from, so to speak, the higher worlds down into the world of Maisa, just tell them, like a fly, to buzz off. Thank you.